The story begins at the exact moment when the illusion of safety collapses completely. Ates and Merkin are thrust without warning into a brutal, meticulously planned ambush that leaves no space for hesitation, negotiation, or escape. Gunfire erupts from multiple directions almost simultaneously, sharp and deafening, ripping through the air and tearing apart any remaining sense of order. The attackers move with coordination and intent, their presence unmistakably hostile, their purpose frighteningly clear. This is not chaos born of chance, it is violence delivered with calculation. In a matter of seconds, life narrows to one single instinct: survival. For Merkin, the shock is overwhelming. Her body reacts before her mind can follow. The sounds are too loud, too close, too sudden: gunshots, shouting, explosions folding into one another until they lose distinction. Fear floods her system so intensely that it feels physical, tightening her chest, stealing her breath, blurring her thoughts. She is unprepared for this kind of danger, unprepared for the reality of being hunted. In that moment, she does not think in words or plans. She exists only in sensation, terror, noise, the pounding of her heart. It reacts instantly, without conscious thought. His body moves with instinctive precision, placing himself between Merkin and the threat as if drawn there by gravity itself. Protection becomes his sole purpose, strategy, fear, and even his own survival fade into the background. The only thing that matters is that Merkin remains alive. His presence in front of her is not symbolic, it is absolute. He is a barrier, a shield, a final line between her and death. He speaks to her firmly, his voice cutting through the chaos with controlled authority. He tells her not to move, not to panic, to stay exactly where she is no matter what happens. The command is sharp, but it carries something deeper beneath its urgency: fear, and a determination he refuses to let falter. When he promises her that he will come back, the promise is heavy with meaning. It is not reassurance meant to calm her nerves. It is a vow made with full awareness that he may not survive what comes next. Merkin hears the weight in his words, and that realization frightens her more than the gunfire itself. As Ates moves away from her and toward the attackers, Merkin feels the distance between them stretch unbearably. Every step he takes feels like a step toward loss. She watches his figure dissolve into smoke, noise, and movement, and the moment he disappears from her sight, panic tightens its grip. Left alone, surrounded by danger, she's forced into stillness, and stillness becomes unbearable. Waiting becomes its own form of torment. Time fractures, seconds stretch into eternity. Each gunshot sounds final. Each explosion feels like an ending. Merkin's thoughts spiral uncontrollably, racing through possibilities she cannot stop imagining. She sees Ates falling in her mind, sees herself running toward him too late, sees a future collapsing into this single violent moment. The helplessness is crushing. She has been told to stay still, but every instinct screams at her to move, to do something, anything, to escape the feeling of being powerless. Meanwhile, Ates confronts the attackers directly. The ambush intensifies as he pushes forward under relentless fire. The situation deteriorates rapidly when his weapon malfunctions at a critical moment, stripping him of distance and forcing him into even closer danger. There is no retreat, no safe ground, no margin for error. Smoke thickens the air, explosions shake the ground beneath his feet, and every movement becomes a calculated risk. Yet Ates continues, driven by an unbreakable resolve. Survival is no longer just about himself, it is about Merkin. As long as she is alive, he must remain standing. As the violence edges closer to Merkin's position, something inside her begins to shift. The fear that once paralyzed her transforms into something sharper, more urgent. Waiting becomes impossible. The moment she realizes that the danger has reached her directly, the paralysis breaks. Fear turns into desperation, and desperation ignites action. What follows is not bravery in the heroic sense. It is survival stripped of dignity, stripped of thought. Merkin does not plan, she does not hesitate, she reacts. Her movements are driven by adrenaline and instinct, by the raw and overwhelming need to stay alive. When she fights back, it is not controlled or calculated. It is chaotic, messy, and terrifying. In those moments, violence becomes immediate and personal. There is no time for morality, no space for reflection. There is only the next second and the need to reach it. In the midst of that chaos, Merkin crosses a line she never believed she could cross. She discovers a version of herself that had remained dormant, a strength born not of courage, but of necessity. The realization does not empower her, it unsettles her. Survival demands something from her, and she gives it without fully understanding the cost. Eventually, against all expectation, the gunfire begins to fade. The ambush does not end in triumph, but in exhaustion. When Ates finally reappears injured, blooded, shaken, but alive, the sight of him standing there breaks the tension Merkin has been holding inside her body. Relief crashes over her with such force that it nearly overwhelms her. For a moment, words are impossible. Survival feels unreal, almost impossible, as if they have stepped out of a moment that should have ended differently. They are alive, but nothing is the same. As the immediate danger passes, reality slowly returns, bringing with it the weight of what has happened. The shock does not fade, it settles. It becomes clear that Merkin was not merely a bystander during the attack. She did not remain frozen in fear. She acted. She fought. This truth unsettles everyone who learns it, but no one is more disturbed by it than Merkin herself. She is forced to confront a version of herself she never knew existed. The woman she believed herself to be controlled, distant from violence, protected by circumstance, no longer fully exists. Survival has reshaped her, demanded something irreversible. She cannot undo what she has done, cannot forget how it felt, cannot return to the innocence she once carried without realizing it. Ates, too, is deeply affected when he understands the extent of Merkin's actions. His perception of her changes fundamentally. Until now, his role had been clear: protector, defender, the one who stands in front of danger so she does not have to. Now he sees that Merkin is not merely someone who needs shielding. She is someone who can endure, who can act, who can survive even when the world turns violently against her. This realization deepens his respect and complicates his emotions. Responsibility gives way to admiration, and admiration slowly intertwines with something heavier and more dangerous: attachment. For Merkin, the transformation is quieter but far heavier. The ambush did not only threaten her life, it altered her understanding of herself and of the world around her. Fear lingers long after the gunfire has stopped. Safety no longer feels guaranteed. Trust in stability is shattered. Innocence, once lost, does not return. Though both Ates and Merkin survived physically, the experience leaves scars far deeper than visible wounds. From this moment forward, they carry the memory of the ambush with them, a moment when fear, violence, and survival collided, reshaping who they are and binding them together in ways neither of them can fully articulate yet.